The Minnesota man knew there was something seriously awry by the noises coming from the machinery in late 2017. It had been a normal day at the coffee factory, but all that was going to change when he decided to investigate. No amount of caffeine could have hyped him up enough to deal with the shock of what he discovered. As he peered inside the industrial equipment, all he could see were two huge, yellowy eyes glaring back at him. Whatever it was that was sitting there in the darkness of the interior, it wasn't human. The man in question was Ezra Bennett, a roaster and warehouseman at Alikuf Coffee Company in Duluth, Minnesota. Alikuf is Hebrew for the best, but that term didn't describe the unusual noise he heard in the industrial unit that day in November 2017. Bennett was near the end of his shift, but decided to locate the problem. Consequently, he followed the sound until he realized where it was coming from. Bennett finally tracked down the source of the disturbance. He was surprised to find it emanating from the roasting machine's chaff collector. This part of the unit's equipment usually catches coffee ground deposits at the base of the machinery. However, it was to prove that this time it had caught something else entirely. And whatever that was, Bennett was suspecting it was alive. Bennett described the sound emanating from the equipment as kind of irregular clunking noise. In December 2017, the factory man spoke to the local Pioneer Press newspaper. My first thought was there's a raccoon or something in here, he explained. But that's impossible because the only way it could actually get into there is through the smokestack. The top of the stack is about 30 feet up. A sense of professionalism and sheer curiosity got the better of Bennett, so he opened up the machine's lower panel to investigate. Although it was much too dark for him to see much inside the chaff collector, Bennett did catch a fleeting glimpse of something moving. Whatever was causing the commotion in the coffee roasting machinery, it was indeed very much alive. I saw feathers. I saw wings. She started flapping, he recalled. To his amazement, Bennett then realized what was captive in the coffee pressing apparatus. As unlikely as it would appear, there was an actual owl trapped in the machine. Inside the chaff collector was a confined space containing a conical-shaped element. The owl had somehow got itself wedged within that space. As a result, the raptor could not get itself out. There was not enough room in there for it to extend its wings, and the owl's talons could not get purchased on the smooth surface of the cone. Bennett made a wise decision. Wary of the risks of attempting to remove the raptor himself, he closed the door on the trapped bird. Bennett knew that even if he did successfully rescue the powerful predator without harm to himself or the owl, he still faced a problem. The chances of catching the frightened or angry bird in the vastness of the factory and warehouse were slim. For this reason, he decided he needed some expert help. As he told the Pioneer Press, I hollered at the guys in the main part of the production area to call Wildwoods. Bennett was referring to Wildwood's animal rehabilitation organization based elsewhere in Duluth. The charity's dedicated staff treat sick, injured, and abandoned animals with the intention of releasing them back into their natural environment. Wildwood's staff member, Tara Smith, wears several different hats at the organization, as well as being a career. Smith is also an administrator and events co-coordinator. But it was while she was in the role of what the Wildwoods website calls phone guru that Smith spoke to Bennett that day in November 2017. When she initially answered the call, Smith thought the report was a practical joke. As she later told ABC News, I kind of laughed and I seriously thought it was a prank call. But perhaps Bennett's incredulous tone convinced Smith that he was on the level. Wildwood's director, Farzad Farr, wasted no time in driving over to the Alikuf Coffee Company premises. When he arrived at the factory, Farr took a similarly no-nonsense approach. What happened next was filmed by one of the coffee company's employees and later posted to YouTube. Farr took a heavy jute sack, which had previously held coffee beans, to protect his arms and hands. Then he simply opened the door, reached in, and slowly and gently extracted the imprisoned raptor. It was a massive specimen, and despite its confinement, it did not seem injured. The bird was a beautiful white snowy owl, and judging by its big size, Wildwoods believed it was female. Bennett wittily dubbed her Mocha. This is in recognition of the Yemeni port of the same name, which is famous for its coffee. And perhaps in an ironic comment on her white feathers, the chocolatey variation on the cafe latte. Far can only guess as to how she came to be trapped in the factory apparatus. The reason is still far from clear. I don't know why it went down the venting system. I have no idea, Far told the Star Tribune. Maybe sat on the edge and then fell in? It's not like the chimney dwellers. Whatever the cause, Far and his colleagues at Wildwoods reported a huge number increase of snowy owls in the area. Mocha appeared to be physically undamaged by her adventures in the coffee roasting machine, but she was skinny and covered in residue from the chaff collector. Consequently, Far took her back to the Wildwoods to look after the owl and find her something suitable to eat that wasn't coffee related. There was, however, one positive consequence of Mocha getting trapped in the coffee factory. She is probably the best smelling owl I have ever encountered, Smith joked to ABC News about the first time she met the raptor back at the Wildwoods headquarters. She added, as soon as the crate came in, it was this heavenly aroma of coffee. Furthermore, Mocha was now in safe, caring hands, and the snowy owl was treated like a queen by workers at the animal sanctuary. If you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and consider sharing it with your friends and family. Thanks again, and we'll see you in the next one.